I just came back from Cape Town. There was a conference for high-level Amazon sellers, and I was lucky enough to be invited to speak there. And I will probably make a video about the lessons I've learned because there were many high-level sellers, 8 and 9 figure sellers. But today, I would like to talk about a different topic. Going to this event made me realize that I was making a big mistake in our own business. So let me go back a few years when we were still growing our Amazon brand. Basically, my goal was to really go all in and have the perfect daily schedule: work out, meditate, work, and repeat. That was pretty much it. And to me, this really sounded like the perfect daily schedule. Because what you may don't know about me is that I'm an introvert. And if you know the 16 personalities test, I highly recommend it. I am the architect personality, which means that I like to build things. And as I said, I'm an introvert, so I like to close the door, stay in my room, and simply build something. And that was one of the reasons why I always wanted to have an online business. I really like the idea that I could be working from home, traveling, and following my own schedule. But there was a problem I was not initially aware of. Because I think it's important when you look at these benefits to always consider the downside, because there is always a downside. If we look at the fact that as an entrepreneur with running an online business, you can follow your own schedule. But the other side of that means that you actually have to create and follow your own schedule to have the motivation and discipline to do that every single day. That is the downside, right? And if you can live anywhere, the downside is that you actually have to choose where you want to live. And the problem may be that you may be constantly trying to find the perfect place. So you may not like the weather in Europe, so you decide to move to Thailand. And suddenly there will be different problems there. So you may be moving from one place to another, never really being satisfied. And that was the problem for me. But probably the biggest one is working from home. Because the downside to that is that it can be quite lonely because likely you are working from home alone. And what I want to talk about is the problem that I was facing, and it was isolation. Because if you are not careful, an online business will lead to isolation, especially for introverts, and especially for an Amazon FBA business model, where you basically don't have to interact with other people at all. You can do everything via email and chat messages. I think that the problem with isolation is not just other people, because of course you will have your friends. I personally like to play board games with my friends, so I see them quite often. So I'm not really isolated from other people, but I used to be isolated from other entrepreneurs. Pretty much the only entrepreneur in my life throughout our Amazon journey was my business partner, and that was it. I think it's important to find like-minded people and surround yourself with people that are having the same goals and that are facing the same struggles, because your friends and family may not really understand what you are going through as an entrepreneur. And as I said, the problem was that in our business, I was not really interacting with anyone outside of our business. I didn't know any other entrepreneur. And that is one of the reasons why I actually decided to start this YouTube channel, so I can get to know people like you. You can reach out to me and we can have a chat and we can get to know each other. And for me, as I was thinking about this, the solution really was to join masterminds, join communities, and go to events like this. And this was really my first experience with a live event. So I would like to share some of my insights. So as I said, I spent nearly 5 years isolated from other entrepreneurs. And now I realize that meeting and interacting with other entrepreneurs can really fuel your motivation, probably more than you can imagine. But it won't really happen by accident. We have to proactively take the steps to meet other business owners. And To be honest, for me, it was quite hard to actually fly across the world and spend 2 weeks with a bunch of other people I've never seen in my life. Because as I said, I'm an introvert. So for me, it's just safer to stay at home and do my thing, build my business. And I really had to step out of my comfort zone. But now I can say that it was definitely worth it. Because I would say it's not just about the motivation and inspiration, right? It is definitely inspiring to see other people building these amazing businesses. But you will also gain a new perspective, just a new way of thinking. Because you likely listen to the same podcasts and read the same books, so you have your own way you run your business. But once you get exposed to 20, 30, 40 other entrepreneurs, you will understand that there are different ways to run a business. There are different ways to cast your vision. And I think that this is extremely important to really be exposed to other mindsets. And lastly, it simply feels good to see that other people are facing the same issues. If you can share your struggles with seller support, with failed products, or your frustrations with supply chains or VAT registrations. Because as I said, your friends and family probably won't understand this, but when you go to an event like this, all of these people are facing the same issues. So they will understand what you are going through. So I believe that your journey simply becomes more rewarding once you can share your wins and losses and get feedback. So from my perspective, it was surprisingly easy to connect with other people, which is not always the case for me. Because you realize that you actually have a lot in common with all of these people, all of these business owners. So you may meet a guy who lives on the other side of the world, you've never seen him before, but you will feel like you know him. And it's not just about the friendship, which is extremely important, but also about the benefits for your business. So now if I need help with listing optimization, I know a guy who is an expert. And the same goes for social media marketing. And it works the other way around as well. If they need help with systems and building their teams, I'm happy to help them as well. So my point is that if you are isolated from other entrepreneurs, you should try proactively meeting other business owners. And going to these events is probably the easiest way to do it. And obviously you will learn a lot of stuff from these presentations and from all of these speakers. But what matters the most is the value of the friendships and the potential partnerships you will establish there. I prepared a brief list of events. Maybe I missed some, but I highlighted the ones where I would like to go. I actually may be speaking on some of these. So if you actually want to go out there and meet other business owners, open the list and choose the ones you would like to attend. And maybe we will be able to meet each other there. And that's it from me for today. So I will see you next week. Bye.